Hey y'all, and welcome back to another Wedding Wednesday, where we talk about the do's and don'ts, tips and tricks of wedding preparation in order to take the stress out of planning for your big day. My name is Jane Corley with Pic Visions, Media Arts and Photography. If it's your first time here, welcome! Make sure to like this video if you learned something new, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you can be notified every time a new video is uploaded every week. In today's video, we're talking about wedding reception, wedding ceremony, entertainment. So your DJ, your live band, your orchestra ensemble, whatever you're choosing for your music choice, that's what we're talking about today. So let's get started on your wedding entertainment. First and foremost, your wedding entertainment musicians should be between 10 and 12% of your total wedding budget. This includes their service, and if you have to provide any lodging, if you need to provide travel expenses. That's why it's more important to focus on somebody maybe a little more local to where you're getting married. That way you don't have any surprise fees or surprise things that you need to pay for, like their lodging and travel expenses. When you first start looking, try to have at least 2 or 3 options available. That way, as you go to figure out what you do like, what you don't like, what sort of services you need to provided from that vendor, because this band, DJ, entertainer, whomever is a vendor. So treat them like every other vendor. You need to have a contract. You need to have a clear understanding about what they're going to provide, and you need to be mindful of every aspect of their services. Check out their reviews from any other brides and grooms who have used them in the past, or even just party goers that have used them in the past. Talk to their previous clients and see what it is like to use them and work with them on the big day of the event. And just like any other vendor, ask how long they've been in business. Ask if they have any other weddings or events that weekend. Ask how they are going to outline and prioritize your event in the schedule within all of their other events that they are servicing. With a DJ, a band, an orchestra ensemble, you'll need to speak with them about attire. Make sure that they fit the vibe of your event, and you really can't go wrong with having everybody dressed in black. Or you can have them wear colors of the event, similar to the colors and themes of your wedding, and just have them make sure to match the tone of the event. If you are planning on doing a playlist yourself and having a friend or a family member just manage the play button and MC the event, there's no issue with that. But be clear with them what your expectations are so there are no surprises at the end of the night. The first tip I have for you is to make sure that you provide them a timeline of the day. Even if it's just a loose timeline of the day, this will give you an idea of how long you need to hire them for, 6 to 8 hours, 4 to 6 hours, whatever time frame you need them for, and when the event starts and when the event ends, so they'll know how to block out the time. Next is, what will you need music for? If you are planning your own rehearsal dinner, you'll need music during your rehearsal dinner. You'll also need a microphone for any speeches or any other announcements that you'll need to make during the rehearsal dinner. Now for the big event, you'll need ceremony music. If you're choosing to have a smaller ensemble, do think about, do they need to be mic'd in the ceremony space? If you're getting married in a church, sometimes they'll have microphones set up. You'll just need to be informed about how to set that stuff up, how to turn it all on, how to get all of that amplified out into your ceremony space. If you are having an ensemble or a pianist, maybe just a few violins, whatever you're having for the music for your ceremony, make sure to structure it out. You'll need songs for as the guests arrive. Provide about 30 to 45 minutes of music as your guests enter the ceremony location and get seated in their chairs. You'll need music for your processional to follow. Plan at least 5 to 10 seconds for each member of the wedding party to walk down the aisle. Confirm this at the rehearsal the day before the wedding, but typically it's between 5 and 10 seconds for one individual or a pair of individuals to make it from the door all the way down to the altar. As the bride comes in, you'll need to shift gears. This is the first page turn. Here we go. Everybody take a deep inhale. This is about to do it. Guests start. It's about to happen. This is the first page turn of the event. So the song that the bride walks down the aisle to needs to be a statement song. Feel free to get creative with any of these songs that you choose. If you are a metalhead, if you love rap, if you love some sort of alternative music that isn't a typical song or music tone for a wedding, do not be dismayed. There are some really wonderful, brilliant artists out there that make acoustic versions of songs that are heavy metal songs. So do your research, go out and explore different music choices, and just show off your style, show off your theme. Just because it's a formal wedding does not mean that you are limited to formal music. Get creative and make it your own when it comes to music. If you are doing any special religious items for your ceremony, so if you are doing a sand ceremony, if you're doing a candle ceremony, if you're taking communion, so outside of doing the normal ceremony I do's, make sure to provide songs for small ensembles or for somebody doing a playlist or for your DJ, whoever is running your music during your ceremony, that is easy to fade in and fade out, because the ceremony and whatever you're adding to it outside of just the I do's in a service, that isn't going to take exactly 3 minutes and 47 seconds of the time of the song. It may take a minute and a half, so you're going to have to fade in and fade out. So make sure that that is clear to whoever's running your music during the ceremony. Next, you will need to do an exit song, something joyful, something lighthearted, something that reflects the new adventure you and your new spouse are about to take upon yourselves through being a newly married couple. Next is the recessional. It's the same as the processional except backwards. So allot the same amount of time as you did with the processional, but choose a different song, or you can just speed up the tempo to make it more of an uplifting, joyful song as you did with the processional. Then you will need between 10 and 15 minutes worth of music as your guests exit the ceremony location. If your guests are exiting the ceremony location and then going to a reception location, a separate location from the ceremony, you may want to allot anywhere from about 20 minutes just to make sure everybody gets out. But if it's the same location and you're just going downstairs or just to another part of the location, 10 to 15 minutes usually is a good start. But as soon as your guests leave that area and go down to the cocktail lounge or go to start their cocktail hour, have the DJ or a playlist or some kind of music playing as guests come in. You don't want to just turn music on halfway through the cocktail hour and say, okay, we're doing music now. You want to have music as they're coming in, because the music and the songs, that's just part of the environment. You want to go ahead and set the tone, set the mood, and get your guests ready to party. Now for your cocktail hour and your dinner, or when you're feeding them, just the music that is happening that isn't dance music. That's how you need to think about your playlist. Your playlist for your cocktail hour, as well as your dinner service or your supper service or your brunch service, whenever you're feeding your guests, have it the songs that do not fit in your dance party mix. You're going to be choosing songs left and right with your fiance, and some of them just aren't good songs to dance to. Put those in a separate category and use those for your cocktail hour and your dinner service. Your cocktail hour is going to be anywhere from 30 minutes to 100 minutes of music. So if each song lasts anywhere from an average of 3 minutes to 5 minutes, plan accordingly, and it's typically about 15 songs an hour. Quick tip, if you are having a live band at your reception location, I would suggest playing maybe a playlist during the cocktail hour, because typically bands and DJs charge by the hour, and if you can save yourself an hour's worth of time with that band or the DJ and just plug in a phone worth of a playlist during cocktail hour that your wedding coordinator or somebody in the wedding party can just push play on and start playing while people arrive at the cocktail hour, that'll save on your budget a little bit in the long run. If you are also having a band at the event and choose to use a playlist during your cocktail hour, this will also provide another shift in gears to amp up the party mood. Similar to the way that the song as the bride walked down the aisle was a page turn Having a DJ or a playlist play during cocktail hour and then your live band amp things up when the party's ready to start and everybody's out there getting to dancing, that's another page turn. That's another shift in the event. So, when you come down to do your grand entrance, there is no right or wrong way to do this, guys. The grand entrance can be the wedding party all coming in one at a time. It can be the wedding party coming all in together. It can be the wedding party coming in with their dates. It can just be you and your new spouse. It can include mother and father of the bride, mother and father of the groom. It can include your grandparents. Whoever you want to include in the grand entrance, include it, as long as you and your new spouse are the last ones. If you want to have a song for your wedding party and extra personnel to come into, and then a DJ, an MC, or even the manager of your band or the lead singer of a band introduce you and your bride to a different song, that's also okay. Do it the way you want to do it, but do budget the amount of time it takes for that song to play and how long people have to come in and make their entrance. We did one song for our entire wedding party, including both sets of our parents, and it worked out really great. We had a song picked out probably 2 months into our engagement that we knew 100% that is what we wanted. And it was amazing. Before I move on to our next phase, which is speeches and dinners and all that kind of stuff, I do want to make sure that you know, have a list of every single person's name in the wedding party if you are doing your grand entrance with your wedding party. And have it phonetically spelled on top of their original spelling, because you do not want that DJ to pronounce somebody's name wrong, and it's going to happen if you don't do it. We'll just put it that way. So if you're having the DJ or the band manager or whomever announce the names of the people who are coming in and who they are to you and your new spouse, make sure that that DJ understands how those names are pronounced and they have that information available when they are supposed to be doing it. So now what? What do we do next? Are you going to be having speeches? If you do, I would suggest probably some light music underneath, something that isn't very distracting. If you're going to be having a prayer before dinner, I probably would suggest no music to that, something just to kind of get everybody really centered. No distractions, just no distractions. But we get to the good stuff. First dance. Pick your first dance together. Pick it with your fiance. Let them have a part in picking it. This song is about the two of you celebrating your union, and it should mean something to both of you. Or it can just tell the story of your love. Play around with different songs and just pick the right one that sets the mood and the tone for you and your new husband or wife's love together. Next is the father-daughter, mother-son dance. You can also do father-daughter, father-daughter, mother-son, mother-son, depending on your situation. There's no limit to the things you can do these days, guys. It's just have mother of the groom, father of the bride. Two separate dances. Ask your mother and your father to contribute to these ideas. They may have an idea of a song that they'd already like to dance to. You also need to make sure that they are okay with doing a coordinated dance if you want to do that. They need to be okay with getting up and moving around, and you need to plan and prepare if you're doing something coordinated or funny or silly. And if that's your style, then do it, because that looks really cool, and if that's y'all's style, then celebrate it. But there's also no issue in a two-step, swaying back and forth for the course of a song, loving on each other, and just taking in that moment of dancing with your father or dancing with your mother. It's a really important and special day for them as well, so make sure that they contribute to that song as well. Next is the other dances. The other dances might include if you are entering into a blended family. Mother and new stepson could do a dance together. Father and new stepdaughter could do a dance together. It's a really great way to blend and bond the family together and show all of your loved ones and friends that you are now a family unit together. Another option for an other dance is to do a wedding party dance. Your wedding party is probably ready to get out there and shake it. Celebrate the fact that you are done planning, we are here to party, Everything is finally over and we are ready to just reap the rewards of all the stress from planning a wedding. So if you want to do a wedding party dance, then that is totally fine as well. You can do a generation dance during this portion as well, but if you're going to do a generation dance, I would actually suggest doing that at the very beginning of your party dance after dinner service and all that stuff, because it's going to be a great way to get your party started. It's going to be a great way to get everybody on the floor and get dancing and get in the mood and get started. So if you're going to do a generation dance, I would encourage you to do that at the beginning of the big dance party. So now dinner. What do you play during dinner? Like I said earlier, play the same stuff that you played during your cocktail hour. You don't want it to be too loud, you don't want it to be too soft, but you want it to be songs that reflect you and your new husband or wife's love together. This should be easy listening and plan for between 30 to 40 minutes of a served dinner worth of music. If you're doing a buffet, plan between 45 minutes to an hour worth of served music. If you're doing serving stations or past heavy hors d'oeuvres, you can really just work it out with your DJ and your band managers to really find out exactly what kind of music you want to play, or if they just need to watch for some cues that we're ready to move on to the next phase. Next, you'll need a cake cutting song. There is so many options online for cake cutting songs. Same with the garter toss and same with the bouquet toss. Do your research and find a song that works for you. The cake cutting song, it can be something just really lovey-dovey, it can be something really funny, and same with the garter and the bouquet toss, because these are kind of just fun parts of the event if you choose to do them. And this also includes any other ceremonial things that you need to do. I know that in Jewish weddings and in Hindi weddings that there are a lot of other traditional things that need to be done. But just pick songs that fit you and your new husband or wife's vibe. You don't have to do things a certain way. The whole event should reflect you and your new husband or wife's life together. Your music is the #1 way to celebrate and show off your love. So, the party songs. We're about to get crazy, we're about to get started, we're about to shake our booties, all that good stuff. What do you need to have and what do you not need to have? So as I said earlier, 1 hour of songs is usually about 15 songs. Do you want to have a generation dance? Have a generation dance. If you want to have line dances or crowd dances, include that in your list. 1 slow song for every 5 fast or dance party songs is usually the average. Don't saturate your entire list with crazy dance party songs, because by halfway through the night, no one's going to be left on the dance floor because everybody's going to be exhausted. Also provide your DJ and your band with songs that you want played 100%. I want these on the list. I want them part of our event, along with songs that you don't want to be played. Do not play songs on this list, no questions asked. I don't care if anybody requests them. Do not play them because they are on this list. It's the red list. Don't play it. And avoid any negative, foul language, expletive, demeaning. Just don't put the nasty songs in there, guys. If you do, push them to the end of the night, maybe the last 30 or 45 minutes of the event, because yes, it is your wedding, and yes, some of those songs may be like your favorite songs, but the guests of your wedding, yes, they're there to celebrate you and your new spouse, but you really don't want to offend anybody. You don't want to send anybody home with negative feelings about your event. And if you have a bunch of songs that are throwing around the F-bomb or just very negative, it's not going to be a good vibe for your event, and people are going to be really turned off and not want to be out there dancing because the song is offensive. So just keep that in mind. And if you do want to have, a few songs that have a few more expletives than others, just push them to the end of the night when all the older folks leave and everybody's had enough drinks or whatever to really just stop caring. But do not put those in the beginning of the night because it's not going to go well for you. So based on the timeline of your event and where you're getting married and how many guests are traveling, you may end up doing a formal exit or a real exit. What I mean by that is what we did, for instance, is we did dinner, we did a little bit of dancing, then we did the cake, the garter, and the bouquet, and then we partied for a few more minutes, let everybody kind of digest and maybe have some cake, but then we did an exit. It was almost an hour and a half before our event was ending, but we wanted to have a sparkler exit and we wanted everybody in our wedding environment to be there, so we wanted to do an exit before it got too late. And also where we were getting married, it was on an island, so we knew a lot of people were traveling and would be going back home or wouldn't be staying on the island and had some time to travel, so they might be leaving a little bit earlier than usual. So we wanted to make sure that we did a formal exit while everybody was still there. Make sure your DJ or your band manager or your lead singer, whoever's in charge of the band or in charge of the music, knows what that timeline looks like, so that they can say, okay, well, we're going to do one more song after the cake cutting, so make sure that you get ready to do a sparkler exit. So go ahead and make your way to that area after the song is over so that we can do our exit. But don't go anywhere because we're not done partying. Same story with the last call. If you're doing a last call or a last song of the night, make sure that your MC has that information and translates it to your guests in a favorable way. I'd suggest doing a song at the end of the night that is special to you and your new spouse, celebrating your love together, but also just celebrating your family and your loved ones. A way of saying, wasn't that a party? We are so glad you guys came, and we love each and every one of you. Thank you for making this day so special. If you can find that perfect song that translates all of that for you, to your guests, from your family, just play that song and make it a moment. Make it a special time for your guests, just to know that you appreciate them. There are some wonderful lists online of some great songs to choose from based on the vibe of your event. So do your research, figure out what's going to fit your theme, fit your vibe, fit your new husband or wife's vibe, and just pick something that's going to be perfect for you. Music and picking the playlist can be kind of stressful. I lucked out because my husband is actually really awesome at making pretty sweet playlists. So we had a bunch of songs already picked out, and we just kind of had to pepper a few songs that maybe were on my playlist that weren't on his playlist into this master playlist so that we could make everything happen. But if you're stuck on music to play, check out some playlists that you already have maybe on your phone or in your music library, because that's the kind of music you really like, and you can play any and all of that at your wedding. So see what kind of music you like, see what kind of tone you like for your tunes, and talk with your DJ and your band and see kind of what's going to work for everybody involved. You'll need to choose between 4 and 6 hours worth of music to provide to your DJ or band, and that's going to include your ceremony music, that's going to include your cocktail music, it's going to include your reception music, your dances music, and your booty shaking music, as well as your exit music. So all the way through the night, build yourself a timeline and break it down into 15 songs an hour and deliver it to your DJ and to your band managers, and they will really help you work out that timeline and work out how things are supposed to go. So let's talk about music. Talk about music. Leave in the comments below. Let me know what your very favorite wedding song is. What is your favorite wedding song to dance to at your wedding or at anybody else's weddings you've been to? And leave in the comments below any tips and tricks you have for your fellow brides and grooms as they go through their music planning process. Was it better to have a DJ? Was it better to have a band? Leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Until next time, when we talk about the month 3 priorities. I know it's been a lot in month 2, but month 3, it gets a little bit easier, but it's a longer list. I'm sorry, friends. Month 3 priorities is coming up next week, so make sure not to miss that. And again, make sure to like this video if you did learn something new, subscribe, ring the bell, and share, share, share. I'm Jane Corley with Pick Visions, Media Arts and Photography. See you later, guys.